Hello and good morning from southwest London. This is the Wimbledon Coffee Morning, presented as always by Lavazza. I'm Danny Jameson.
And I'm Anne-Marie Batson, and today it's the clash of the Titans.
Mouth-watering day of tennis, isn't it?
You can feel the anticipation in the air as you walk around the grounds.
Oh yeah, say mouth-watering tennis, you may have noticed we've got more cakes, everyone. We have more cakes, additional cakes. There's a very good reason why. That's coming up very soon. You don't want to miss it if you've been enjoying any of this stuff, because I'm really excited.
Do you know, it's really difficult to focus right now with so many delicious treats in front of us,
downwind
but we are
of them.
professionals.
Well, you are. I'm going to present the entire show just staring at them scones.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Let's talk about some social, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
From our Facebook group, Join the Story.
Yeah, let's do it. Sophia Rutter, right? She's got into. I'm very, very jealous of Sophia because she's only gone and got tickets for centre court.
Well done.
On Sunday, men's final day. Tell you what, Sophia, if you've got a spare one, I'll come with you. I'll take the day off. That's fine. But yeah, unbelievably excited. Get me to Wimbledon. You and me both. That's do
amazing.
The lottery numbers. You've got them tickets through the ballot. Elsewhere, we love animal posts.
We do. Rob Elmore got in touch, didn't he, with a Facebook post?
Yeah. So he's watching the tennis on the telly. Big Serena fan here. Not him. It's his cat. Struggling though to keep track of the high balls just going off the screen there. But look, the cat's really enjoying it. That's love more of that sort of stuff.
Oh, we'd love those pictures, so keep sending them in, particularly into the Facebook group, Join the Story.
Yeah, you had the dogs yesterday, got cats
dogs
today.
yesterday.
What are we going to have tomorrow?
Yeah, we've been thoroughly spoiled, I think, over the last few days, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. Good morning to Lily Ford Tyler as well. Wonderful day in her city, New York, Wimbledon semi-finals, just enjoying the life of retirement, waiting for the US Open to begin. That's not too far away either, is it?
Only a few weeks away now,
Yeah.
and you know, after Wimbledon, it's all about the America swing. Exciting times for the tennis
But Lily,
players.
that's the way to spend your retirement. Love it.
Oh, amazing stuff. So much happened yesterday at the ladies' singles finals. We'll put a little something together as a reminder, because there was so much drama on centre court.
Well, a very warm welcome to the All England Club, and it is, among other matches, ladies' semi-final day. Another beautiful day as well in the southwest of London. Warm temperatures and centre court slowly filling up. And there it is now, with a clubbing forehand. Simona Halep earns her place in her first Wimbledon final.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and I'm really excited and also nervous because of this. It's one of the best moments of my life, so I'm trying just to enjoy as much as possible and to be happy that I could go through the final.
It's a clean finish, and the chase for history is still on for Serena Williams. The performance full of control, poise and power. And she will go into Saturday's ladies singles final, the hot favourite to take title number 8.
I love what I do. You know, I wake up every morning and I get to be fit and I get to play sport and I get to play in front of crowds like at Wimbledon. Not everyone can do that, you know, and it's like if you really just kind of break it down, and I have a great job and I love what I do and I'm still pretty good at what I do, I guess. So I just enjoy it. It's just a remarkable experience every time.
Now there's only a couple of days left now of the tournament, so make sure that you keep being part of the conversation at SW19. Send us your photos, your videos, your thoughts over the few matches that are happening over the next few days. Make sure you use the hashtag Wimbledon as well as the hashtag Join the Story, and join the Facebook group Join the Story too.
Yeah, feel free to send us your cakes as well, if you can. Joanna, by the way, has asked, why are we not getting tucked into the cakes? Well, two reasons. One, we've got somebody coming up who's going to explain about the cakes, and it's quite difficult to do that when they don't exist. And also, I mean, we've got to present the show.
Yes.
It's quite difficult to speak with a mouth full of scone. But anyway.
Yes, and we're professionals too. It's very hard to resist at the moment, I have to say.
You are. You might be. Anyway, look, I've very rarely been as excited as I am about the next guest we've got on Coffee Morning. If you've enjoyed this selection of sweet treats we've had all championships, well, you're going to absolutely love this.
Funny story, I never thought I'd be working at Wimbledon because when I saw the job, my mum was like, apply, and I was like, Mum, I'm never going to get a job at Wimbledon. And she was like, yes, you will. And I was like, okay, I'll apply. And I applied, and then I went for a trial and I got the job, and 3 years later, here I am, so Mum was right.
I'm absolutely delighted to welcome our next guest. Such a special talent standing next to me, Rebecca Marshman, who is the head pastry chef at Wimbledon and responsible for these delectable treats that are right in front of us. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
A, thanks for coming, and B, thanks for bringing more cakes.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we've got to ask you, what does a head pastry chef do, for those who don't know?
So basically my responsibilities are that I'm looking after all of the cakes and all the pastries on site, and I need to basically make sure that we have all the cakes, everything right, desserts, designing menus, creating afternoon tea, so many things, all exciting things though.
So how do you decide what to make?
I don't know, I think that we obviously like going on themes. Like me personally, I really like going on themes, and I like thinking that we need to use things that represent Wimbledon, and just little things like tennis ball macaroons are really popular, and anything that we can get related to tennis, I love to do.
So how did your journey start?
Oh, I started off in kitchens when I was about 14 at my first little catering company, and then I went into restaurants from there. I did an apprenticeship. I went to Westminster Kingsway College, and then I've just worked my way through the industry really, and then a few years ago I decided I want to stay in the pastry, and that's going to be my main focus, and here I am today at Wimbledon.
Oh, well, you brought along some cakes for us here. If you could talk us through it. So this is an afternoon tea.
Yeah, so this is one of our afternoon teas on site. It's one of my favourites, I have to say. So today I've brought you like a little bit of a mixture. We've got a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. We've got a blueberry opera cake, which is lots of layers of sponge, jam, cream, chocolatey goodness, basically. And then we've got a panna cotta with Pim's pipette. So we've got some fresh Pims here that you can pour all over your fruits and marinade. We've got classic Wimbledon fruit cake. We've got a lemon and passion fruit eclair, and then we've got a strawberry shortbread stack with white chocolate macaroon on the top. And some gold leaf, because why not?
Absolutely, I've got my eye on that one.
And the scones as well, talk us through.
Yeah, so the scones, all homemade scones. We've got double cream going through the scones, which is like my little secret thing that I like to put inside.
Shared with all our viewers.
I've shared with everybody, so it's a treat for you all. But no, I like putting the double cream. It just brings out more of a richness, and it hides as well that bicarb taste you can sometimes get, so it's a little tip there.
What time do you start in the morning during the championships then?
It depends. Some days I'm here at 5, some days I'm here at 6, but today I was a bit naughty and I came in at 7.
So what do you, on a daily basis then, talk us through a typical day in the life of the head pastry chef?
So I basically come in and I check all around site to make sure that everybody's got what they need. I make sure that they've got their afternoon tea. I mean, I work with some great people. I do not do it all on my own. We're working with some really great other chefs who help me as well. And then we get ready obviously with afternoon tea. I do lunch service, doing all the desserts, and yeah, it's just basically getting ready, making sure that we are ready for where we need to be at specific times in the day, which is mainly lunch service and afternoon tea.
So at the beginning of our show, when we started broadcasting, we asked people around the grounds what's their favourite thing about Wimbledon. This is your third championships now, is that right?
Yeah.
What would you say is your favourite thing about Wimbledon?
Oh, I think that's a really difficult one. I think if it was food related, it
Yeah.
would be the jam donuts that we get in on a daily basis, which are amazing. So I have a jam donut every day. I will send you some up tomorrow. Don't worry.
There you go, that's
We
all you
like
wanted.
you very much.
But as Wimbledon itself, I just like the buzz and the excitement, you know, working here all year round. You know, it's a ghost town. There's nobody here. There's just the people working here. And you walk out and then there's people here and everybody's excited and queuing, and I think that it's just the buzz mainly, I think, is the best thing about it. Everyone's just excited, having a good time, and I think that's what you need to do. I think I want people to come here, enjoy afternoon tea, but also just have a great day. And you really do see people having a great day, so that's what I like.
But if you want an even better time, just add cake, eh?
Yeah, add cake to anything.
Yeah, I
cake
agree.
for breakfast, lunch.
Which is literally what we're having,
Yeah.
basically every day.
Yeah, it's still breakfast, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's just 5 o'clock somewhere,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
still,
You know?
yeah.
I'm intrigued about the inspiration of where some of the themes come from. We've seen on the fruit cake up there, you've got the Wimbledon tube
Yeah,
station
yeah.
sign.
Brilliant.
So we don't actually have a Wimbledon tube station, but I love the whole tube station sign. I've always just been fascinated by it, and I think that everybody knows it, and I think it's a bit of a talking point because people are like, is there a Wimbledon tube? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, there's not, so I'm actually being naughty.
Bending the truth.
Yeah.
Bending the truth. But it's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
The one thing that really intrigued me about the pictures we saw before, there seems to be some sort of pineapple.
Right.
What is that?
So the pineapple dessert, I have to say, is one of my favourite desserts. I would say that it's probably the best dessert I've ever made in my life. I absolutely love it. We've got a coconut white chocolate mousse, and then when you go inside, you've got a rum and pineapple centre. So it's kind of like a pina colada. And then you've got the crunchy coconut crumble, and then you've got a coconut sorbet for like the refreshingness. And the idea is on top of the men's trophy, you have a little pineapple.
You do, yeah.
And back in the Victorian times, pineapples were classed as a royalty. It was very luxurious, and you know, nowadays we can all get a pineapple, but back then you couldn't get a pineapple. So I've wanted to have it, so a luxurious dessert, and then we're linking it in. That was the idea.
Oh, fantastic.
It looks beautiful and absolutely delicious. Look, Rebecca, thank you so much for coming up.
Thank
and
you.
sorting
Thank you
this
for
out.
having me.
Oh
Thank
no,
you.
the pleasure is all ours. Trust me, we're going to absolutely demolish these cakes.
Yeah,
we've
tuck
been
in.
beating away like all the camera crews up here. They usually want our cake. They've been looking at the scones and everything.
Yeah.
But look, have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for coming up here and bringing us all this. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. It was so great. Thank
Very,
you.
very welcome.
Thank you.
We might as well bring it back to the tennis somehow. Yesterday, so much going on. Here's some things you may have missed.
Another beautiful day as well in the southwest of London. Warm temperatures. As great hilarity has happened. Was that a champagne cork? That's really tickled Kaveta Peshka in particular. She.
I think you can safely say that was a breakdown in communication, and quite an amusing one as well. If you just watch this here, and over there, and I'm sure you're right.
We need our ball back. I don't think he's stealing.
Oh, what a shame. Swung at it, that'll make the club players feel better.
It's one for David Beckham. He's heading towards that way.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, so much stuff going on. My mind is still on the cakes. Like
My mind is still on the cakes.
somehow I managed to just about resist.
And
taking it all.
fascinating to learn about her day and what inspires her as well, and her journey from start when she was 14 to her dream job working at Amazing.
Yeah. And look, there you go. There is the lady responsible for all of these cakes that have caused so much excitement, I suppose, on social media. That's the person responsible for it all.
Yes.
And we are very, very thankful that she was, because they taste amazing. If you were here, I wish you could. I wish you could get involved. So I mentioned we should probably talk about some tennis, because yesterday it was ladies' semi-finals day.
It was.
Lots of people getting excited about that on the old socials. Marina van Wensveen. I really hope I've pronounced that correctly, Marina. Was watching Barbara Strycova and Serena Williams. It was a magnificent match. Unfortunately, I suppose Strycova didn't quite. It was a bit more competitive than it looked, but didn't quite match Serena. But look, a really good experience for her, as you said. Manel Moreira as well, watching that game. Great performance by Serena. How about this, though? However, I think Halep will win the final.
Yeah,
that's
Simona's
a big shout.
Yeah, you were saying, we were talking earlier about, and you were saying about how Simona's getting, is won over a lot of fans here, and she has fans from around the world as well. So I think it's going to be an even split on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of people supporting Simona Halep. She's a very, very popular person around these parts. The gates are open again. It's hit 10:30. I wonder if people will be legging it up the hill. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
But they'll be legging it up that hill to watch some extraordinary tennis today. Back to the ladies' final, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
The WTA clocked a cracking stat. Serena Williams and Simona Halep are the only two players to have made a major final in each of the last 3 seasons, which is extraordinary.
I didn't know that at all. That's a fascinating stat.
It just shows the depth, I suppose, in the women's game. I mean, so many people reaching finals, but those two, they're the consistent ones.
I agree with that.
On top tomorrow. Neither of them have won a title this year. Can you believe it?
And if it's going to be like their 4th round match at the Australian Open this year, we are in the words of Nick McCarville, for a cracking match.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Busy day. So, as it is such a busy day, we put a little something together to give you a lowdown on today's action.
Not just about the men's semi-finals today. Plenty of stuff going on. Marvellous Nick McCarville has joined us again.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
And he has his eye already on the afternoon tea.
I actually don't know how you just had Rebecca on, who was a total delight, and you weren't just chowing down. I'm looking at these jams and creams. That all looks delicious.
Oh, it looks
I think essentially when I leave set, you guys, and it's the next segment, this may have gone missing, but it wasn't me that took it.
Of course, and we're getting donuts tomorrow, by the way.
Oh,
fresh
don't
donuts.
tell me.
Don't you? This is the earliest Nick has ever appeared for his segment on the show.
I was
just
looming
because
behind
you
the
can
camera.
sense the cakes. We should probably talk about some tennis. So we keep getting sidetracked by the cakes. I mean, the 2 semi-finals today. Should we start with Novak Djokovic and Roberto Bautista Agut? I mean, all of the previews seem to be saying that this is going to be a walkover for Novak, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I actually was kind of diving in more to the numbers with Bautista Agut, who most of you tennis fans will know he's won the 2 meetings that they've had this year. Now, mind you, that was in Doha and Miami, so not at the Slams, but actually each time they've met at the Slams, Bautista Agut has won at least 1 set. So he gives himself that fighting chance. And then when you look at players on form, all 4 of these semifinalists are coming in form. They're playing well. They've played standout tennis to get into the last 4. But Bautista Agut has lost just 1 set through into the semifinals. That was against Guido Pella in the previous round, who was playing standout tennis himself. and he also has spent less time on court than Novak Djokovic. So, I mean, listen, do I think that he can beat Djokovic today? It's going to be a big, big ask of the Spaniard. It's his first Grand Slam semifinal. It's a big moment in his career. But he's a veteran. He's been around for a while, and I really do think, especially if he can win that first set, then he gives himself a chance today against Djokovic. I really do think that. I know all eyes are on Federer number 40, but this first semifinal should not be ignored, especially because Djokovic just sometimes this year has not necessarily played his top-level tennis when he's needed it. And we saw that sneak out a little bit at the French Open against Dominic Thiem as well.
Can I just say, while you've been talking, the crowd is very slowly coming in. I don't know if you can get it's absolutely packed.
This is the busiest I think I've seen it the last couple of minutes.
It's amazing
because of the matches we've got coming up today.
Well, usually everyone's running onto the hill, and I think today they're being made to walk very in line, slowly, yes, orderly.
Oh, of course, one of the storylines, I suppose, for this match is Roberto Bautista Agut is getting married. We're supposed to be on his stag do, and he's flown 6 of his friends who went anyway. They're going to be over on centre to watch him.
Yeah, so it shows you that he didn't necessarily think that he'd be in the semifinals here at Wimbledon because he had scheduled his stag do this weekend, his bachelor party in Ibiza. The guys went, and now they've come here. I actually was trying to track them down for a Wimbledon Channel interview, and I was told by someone within the camp that they went out and had a good time last night to celebrate. I don't think Roberto was with them, or I'm going to guess that he was probably having a quieter night, but they're here to cheer on their guy against Novak today. It's a really sensational story. Also, I'm a little confused. Who has a bachelor party 4 months before they get married? Is that a Spanish thing? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Does that happen here?
It does happen here.
Oh, it does? Because we would usually have ours just a few weeks or the week of the wedding itself.
I guess maybe a scheduling issue. He wasn't thinking he would go quite as deep at Wimbledon as he has.
I guess it's probably his tennis schedule too, right? Just that little window before the U.S. hardcourt swing starts.
Is there any pressure on Djokovic though? Because he's obviously trying to catch up with Federer's record, and then there's Nadal as well. Does he face any pressure today?
I think he does. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, Emery. I think that he faces that pressure of being the standout favorite today. I think that's, obviously he's been in this situation plenty before, but I think it's really tough when you have one other match that everyone's focusing on, and Djokovic is preparing for this like it's a Federer or a Nadal or one of those players that has given him trouble in the past, and Bautista Agut has. So I think today, yes, he's the favorite for sure, but this is not a match to be overlooked, and I think center court, I also think if Bautista Agut is able to have a strong start, I think the center court crowd is going to be on his side. We love in tennis an underdog. And Djokovic at times has been a little bit testy with crowds. We know that he can rile fans up. I know there's a lot of dedicated Djokovic fans out there, and sometimes he doesn't necessarily get the love on court that you feel as though he deserves. But that's a tough situation no matter who you are to be facing vastly the underdog. I mean, Bautista Agut is the outlier of the big three in the Final Four. We knew that there would be one. We didn't know that it was going to be RBA.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Now, before we talk about Federer and Nadal, the big one, did you know that Federer's got 6 million followers on Instagram?
Is that it?
Oh,
6 million. Only 6 million. So we sat down with him and he took us through his favourite photos. Take a look at this.
Hello, I'm Roger Federer and this is my photo booth. This is my mom at the Champions Ball. I couldn't tell you which year it is, but yeah, she's been wonderful, still is, always supports me, always tells me the truth if I misbehave or she doesn't like something. But I think I'm a good son, so I hope she's always happy with me, or most of the time. I think moms have a profound impact on a son's life, always. So this is Stefan Edberg, my idol growing up. It's a hero of mine. I always thought I want to win Wimbledon like Stefan. I wanted to have a volley like him. I wanted to play like him. And never tried to copy him because his strokes were too different. And loved his attitude as well. Just respectful, to everybody involved. And when he coached me for a couple of years, I was able to see behind the player. And I met a great man, and we had the best time. Still friends today, so I consider myself very lucky. So this is Rod Laver. He's one of the big figures in our sport. Very important time, bringing the game from amateur to professional. He was part of that that group of all those players who marked our sport in a really big way. Always enjoy seeing Rod. He's a great man, super humble, like all the Aussie legends, really. This is Mirka, my wife. I met her at the Sydney Olympics back in 2000, so I was barely 18 at the time, and she's been with me every step of the way. When I met her, I didn't have a title. Now I have 102, so you can imagine how much impact she's had on me. You know, she also taught me what hard practice means, what professionalism means, because she's a couple of years older than me, and she was also on the tour playing, and she did it the hard way. I was blessed with a little bit more talent, so I didn't always feel like I had to work as hard, but she was definitely the one who reminded me that it will pay off, and it did. And she's been the best wife, the best mom to our children, and yeah, she's my best friend, so we're having a great time on the road, in life, with everything, so I can't thank her enough.
It's going to be a heck of a match. We spent that VT. Nick's been making
well,
some scones.
Okay, who wants
He's got
what?
involved
Come on.
already.
Everyone have a piece. I've
couldn't
made some
wait
scones.
any longer.
Come on, you guys.
I'll take
one of these.
Oh,
you're having some cream.
While,
what are you having?
While I eat this, Nick,
I'll take a bite of this.
answer me
That one's a
this.
small.
The other semi-final we're talking about, I've got to ask a question before I take a bite. So Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, they haven't met, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal rather, they haven't met since that incredible final
It's
of
crazy.
08.
Yeah.
How has that happened? It's ridiculous.
They haven't met on grass.
Yeah, on
right?
grass,
At
sorry,
Wimbledon.
yeah.
Obviously,
At Wimbledon.
3 years in a row they met 06, 07, 08. They were all finals. How delicious is that, by
I
the
know,
way?
It's really
I
good.
was being judged for doing this craft during the break, and you're welcome, you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, today is massive for both guys because you've got standout tennis being played by both of them. And if you're at home watching, you know that Roger has won this title 8 times. You know that Rafa's won here twice. I just think today we could see a meeting of great titans playing some of their best tennis because they've looked so pumped up this whole tournament. Rafa's had that fire in his eyes. Roger has been super straightforward in the way that he's played. He had that 1 set dropped in the first round and then dropped the first set against Kei Nishikori in the quarterfinals. But overall, I just think we're going to see these two guys meet in a sense that they're just playing their best tennis. And that's the best point because they almost played earlier this year, Danny, in Indian Wells, and Rafa had to pull out with an injury. And then you kind of think, well, it's disappointing, but we didn't want to see an injured Rafa play against Roger. And then at the French Open, it's Rafa's domain. And it was a windy day. You didn't see top quality tennis because the wind was so bad. It was 30, 40 miles an hour. Today, center court, these two guys playing their top tennis. You can tell I'm waffling around giving you a straight answer. I picked Federer at the beginning of the tournament to win the title, but right now my gut is telling me that Rafa's playing the better tennis, and that's why I think we're in for an excellent matchup, the first time, as you say, at Wimbledon in 11 years.
How was each of these players under pressure though? Because for Federer, it's going after another Grand Slam title, but for Nadal, it's convincing people that he is a good grass court player. Because I still feel there's a little bit of doubt about him because he's such a top court, clay court player as well as the hard court. There's still that thing can he do as well on the grass as he's on the
Yeah,
surfaces?
totally. And look at what he did here last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he made the semis. He had the epic match against Juan Martín del Potro and an epic match against Novak Djokovic. I think that he does feel that, Anne-Marie. I mean, it's crazy that we say that he's a 2-time titleist. He's Rafael Nadal, and he's still trying to prove himself on the grass. But I think he's actually taken that in stride. He was a little miffed that he didn't get that number 2 seed because of the seeding formula that Wimbledon uses. And then he was a lot miffed against Nick Kyrgios in the second round. But I think both of those aspects have served him well. Yeah. And he has just been, I was joking on the radio this morning, I was calling it flames of rage. And I mean that in a good way. He's just surrounded by this drivenness that I just haven't really...
He's playing angry these two.
Yeah, which
you
is...
see it in the venom he's hitting his returns.
Totally. Ooh, venom. I like that. And most tennis players will tell you, when I play angry, that's when I redline. And that is that's a worrying factor for Federer fans. But that said, I think we're in for a classic today, and I do think Roger Federer is going to win.
Is there any way this could be a disappointing match in terms of the tennis?
Well, I mean, listen, these guys are going out there to perform their best on the biggest stage. Is there pressure? Could it be a flop? Yes and yes. I mean, that's the tough thing about sports, but we hope that it's going to be a classic. I have a sense that it's going to be a classic. We're going to be here at 9:30, maybe later, especially if Djokovic has a long semifinal himself, we could have the roof closed. It could be under the lights. Remember, last time they played, Rafa falls on his back, flash bulbs popping because it was dusk. They could have played maybe 2 more games in 2008. That match was epic. Now we have a roof. 11 years later, we have lights. It could be Friday Night Lights at Wimbledon.
Like it. It's going to be extraordinary.
Dawn has got in touch. Dawn Christie
yes.
Van Horn has got in touch to say 2 friends and best reps of the game. Love them both. And I get that sense as well because people do love them together as well as two rivals.
Yeah, they've become friends. I mean, and they truly are. When Rafa actually pulled out at Indian Wells last minute in that semifinal, the way Roger found out was Rafa texted him. Yeah. He WhatsApped him and said, hey, I'm not going to play. My knee's not healthy. I mean, they have that relationship. Roger invited him over for coffee in Indian Wells. That was prior to chat about some political stuff within tennis. And that's why I think a lot of people feel maybe we are in for an even better match today versus 08. I hope it is. It could be a 3-setter. Somehow you could see either of them. You could make the case for either of them today to walk out there and win in straight sets. But that's why we all sit here and we watch and we wonder, what sort of classic are we in for? And I do think we're going to get some great tennis.
I think it's going to be up there with the 08 final. And of course, that great match of 1980, honoured by our cakes, John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg.
Amazing.
I think we might end up with the 3rd match of that little trilogy. Any other business today? It's not just about the singles because we've got the doubles. Barbara Strycova is trying to make the final with Shea Su Wei. And we've mentioned this earlier on in the week. If you haven't seen them play together, they are excellent fun.
Yeah, great characters.
Too fun. It's basically a contest of who can hit the weirder shot throughout the match because you've got Su Wei Shea, who is so crafty around the court, Strycova as well. They're playing the number 1 seeds, Babos and Mladenovic. They told me they haven't played that team as a duo before. And then the women's doubles semifinal, how about the top 4 seeds making it, which is incredible. Defending champs Krejcikova and Siniakova taking on Dabrowski and Zhu, which will be a great match as well. That's really standout stuff in the women's doubles, for sure.
And as well, we can see the next generation, the semi-finals of the junior tournaments coming up as well. I mean, we saw some of it yesterday, and you would never guess that these guys are teenagers. It's extraordinary, right?
Yeah, you've got the young American woman, American girl, Emma Navarro, who I spoke with yesterday. She's the top seed. She was runner-up at Roland Garros. I think she wants to go one further. And then you also have Martin Dam, who's named for his dad, who is a top 5 doubles player in the world, and he made 2 doubles semifinals. And Martin was telling us yesterday on Wimbledon Channel that he found pictures of himself at 10 months old in the creche, in the daycare here at Wimbledon with dad, which is pretty cool. He's now the number 4 seed here in the juniors. He's in the semifinals.
Brilliant stuff.
Thank
you
Do
very
I get
much.
to eat my scone now?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
That's what I've been waiting for, guys. That's it. Thanks, Rebecca, for this, by the way. And I'm going for the cream.
Go for it. Go for it. Enjoy it.
Mine was superb, by the way.
It's
it was
delicious.
really, really good. I wish you lot
What's
could hear.
next?
Who knows? Right, while Nick polishes that off, as we've been loving reading all of your stories on the Wimbledon Facebook group, Join the Story, and we found a cracker yesterday. 2 ladies came down who posted their story on the group, and I managed to track them down. So I've tracked down Laura and Ruth. Laura got involved on our Facebook group, Join the Story, and it was a cracking story. We had to get in touch. What exactly was it?
So I've wanted to go to Wimbledon for 15 years now, and well, over 15, and I made it. So I finally entered the public ballot on time this time and got the tickets first time. So got tickets for court number 1, so I'm pretty buzzing.
What a surprise. Now I understand it was a bit touch and go when you made it to the gates. Would you make it across? Would there be a bit of a breakdown? But you made it though.
I made it without crying too much. A couple of tears, but made it, yeah.
Ruth, I understand you maybe in the past weren't that into tennis, but now all of a sudden you're right into it.
Yeah, I was never really into it until I met Laura, obviously, and this year when I seen Coco Gauff playing, she was my favourite and I really, really wanted her to win, so I was really gutted when she got put out, but obviously I think next year she could do it. I'm rooting for her for next year, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. That's a big call. There's one thing I have to ask about though, is Laura, there's something on your shoulder there. You have a tattoo.
Sharapova, my favourite tennis player of all time. Like, I know I should support Andy Murray. I do. I'm Scottish. I love Andy Murray. But my favourite female tennis player is Maria Sharapova, and I actually cried when I got that done as well, not through pain but through actually getting it on my shoulder. And hopefully I'll get Djokovic's name, who is my favourite men's tennis player, Sorry, Andy, love you, but I need Djokovic's name at the other side as well.
Let's balance it all up. Ladies, thank you so much for taking some time out to come and speak to us. Enjoy your day, I'm sure you will. And please do, if anyone else has any stories, get on Facebook. It's Wimbledon, join the story and share your stories. We'd love to hear them.
And just like that, we've swapped out Nick McCarville for Adam Hunt from the Wimbledon channel, and he's already scoffed some of the scones, by the way.
He's I was going to say, give it 10 minutes and these will all be gone.
How was the scone?
Very good, yep, very good. Scone. We were having that discussion.
Yes.
North-south divide there. I'm going scone.
Scone is correct. Listen, let's crack through some social media because we've had royal guests. I think, is this the closest we get to a royal guest without actual royalty?
Yeah, it was good to see Bex. Loves a bit of tennis, as we've said before, haven't we? On Coffee Morning about the fact that his kids play. He loves tennis. We see him at Queen's often. I think they're members at Queen's, so his kids Romeo and Cruz both play a lot of tennis, and he's a big fan of Wimbledon. He brought his mum along, Sandra.
I think he brings her every year. Every
Sandra,
year.
she's a fixture.
He's a good boy.
Interesting though to see what Bex was wearing, because we had Susanna Constantine on earlier on this week on the Wimbledon channel, and she was a bit controversial about some of Bex's outfits. The double-breasted suit, she compared him to Prince Charles and said, look, he looked like a granddad, which I think was a bit rude.
I think he could wear literally anything.
That's sacrilege. You can't say that.
He could get away with wearing anything. Do you reckon either of us two could pull off that jacket he's got on?
I'm always a big fan of what Bex has got to wear. I would have no complaints about any of the clothes in his wardrobe.
Look quite as good as he does, though.
No.
Anne-Marie's
Don't
so
look
skeptical.
at me. Don't look at me.
So
I don't answer.
Good day for footballers as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Footballers and former footballers. We had Virgil van Dijk. We chatted to him on the Wimbledon channel. Apparently, Trent Alexander-Arnold is here today. Another Champions League winner.
That will make our camera person Abby very happy.
Yeah,
from Liverpool.
Jurgen Klopp's here apparently at the weekend as well. But also down here yesterday was Patrice Evra.
Yes.
Who met up with Novak Djokovic.
I'm not sure what the connections was, but it did seem that yesterday and today we see a list of of guests. There was a lot of footballers. I guess it just sort of fits in with their schedule. But Patrice Evra, good friends with Novak Djokovic, and nice little photo there on Instagram.
Some nice coloured trainers.
Yes.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's compare the style of Beckham and Patrice Evra. I'd perhaps be siding on David Beckham.
Now, Dylan Alcott was talking about how packed it was on the court that he was playing on the other day, and he got the chance to meet the great Rod Laver.
Rod Laver, yes, another Aussie. Two legends, really. Dylan Alcott, what he's achieved in the game, it is the inaugural competition this year. He won his match yesterday, played brilliantly. He had a good interview afterwards. He said a bad word in the first answer, so we had to edit that out. I think he was so happy,
so excited.
He was so excited by his victory, finally getting the chance to play on the lawns here at Wimbledon. So we can excuse him
we'll let him off
for saying a little bad one.
He was saying that his family arrived late and they couldn't get any seats, but he did tell them to come early because it was going to be such a popular match yesterday.
Yes, yeah. Well, we actually showed some of the highlights of it, and the crowds for the wheelchair competition are brilliant. And we get to show quite a lot of it on the Wimbledon channel, in the latter stages of the tournament, and I'm always amazed at what they can do, and it's great to watch.
Now, we mentioned the Join the Story Facebook group, loads of people getting involved. The Wimbledon themselves pointed out some people adding rather a lot of colour to proceedings. A group of Buddhist monks, they've come all the way from Nongkan in Thailand to bless the players from their country taking part in the championship.
Bless us all.
These are the extraordinary
and the colours
niche.
as well.
Oh yeah.
And actually, there's a Buddhist temple, quite a famous Buddhist temple, about 2 roads away from the All England club. Rafa Nadal was photographed paying a visit, and Federer's been there as well a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's quite a famous landmark in the area.
And again, it's extraordinary the breadth of groups that come down and people that come down to see the championships.
Helping everyone keep calm.
Yes. Yeah. Further away from home, over in Pennsylvania, this was the White Manor Club. The ladies out there had a wonderful time at their breakfast in their Wimbledon whites.
Yes, I was going to say they would pass all of the all white rule there. They would be allowed on the court if they were over here at the All England Club. They would be allowed on. And the thing I notice about these kind of things when we get the posts in on Twitter and Instagram, people watching or playing, is the time different. It takes a bit of dedication to do this. I don't know what time it was in the morning, but we kind of see the times of the matches when we're here that fit nicely within our day,
Absolutely,
starting at
yeah.
1 o'clock. But actually, there's a lot of people who are waking up in the middle of the night to watch Roger Federer, or they're a Serena Williams fan and they have to set their alarm for 5 o'clock. So it takes a lot of dedication to follow this tournament all around the world. So.
And they even battled through a little bit of rain, but luckily we've seen none of this week. So well done to the ladies out there in Philadelphia. Speaking of Americans, I mean, Billie Jean King, again, if you don't follow her on Twitter, what are you doing? She's great fun, and she was praising Serena Williams, who has looked awesome.
Yes. And she's a great analyst, Billie Jean King. We see her on television. And she breaks the game, even though her era was quite some time ago when she was actually playing. She's able to connect the two eras.
She stayed very close to the sport throughout.
Exactly. And she's a really good analyst on television. We've actually got some cultural films that we're using throughout the tournament, and we've got one that focuses on Billie Jean King and some of the stories she's got about that time in tennis. Where they weren't professionals, they were earning kind of minimum wage and all this sort of stuff. So just to see what tennis was like and professional tennis was like back in the day.
We've got a series of podcasts as well. Join the Story. If you haven't downloaded them, they're up on your podcast application of choice. Give them a listen. They are fascinating. And then how about this from Ellen Winfield on Instagram? At Wimbledon, at Centre Court, with some strawberries and cream. Could she be any more English?
Could she be
What's lacking?
Or could she be any more Wimbledon?
Well, yeah, quite.
Well, we enjoy, actually, when we have our little morning meeting on the other side of Court 18, just behind us here, there's two lovely ladies who come up every morning, same time, and they have a huge box of strawberries, and they put them on the table, and they cut the little green bits off, cut them in half, and they put them in the pot. So, hands-on preparation.
A lot of work goes in.
Delivered fresh every day.
Yes, they said they go and pick them up, and then they go there, sit in the sun, and they cut the strawberries, put them in the little pots, and then they go to all of the restaurants around the grounds.
Now I'm particularly fascinated by this next.
This is such a good find.
On Twitter from Stuart Humphreys.
So he's coming down for the finals on Sunday. He's got tickets for Centre Court, sitting opposite the Royal Box, so plum tickets. But he dug out these photos of Centre Court from the summer of 1967.
Few changes since then.
But you say that, but not really. It looks almost identical.
Well, that's the thing is that the court obviously has changed, and the stadium has changed a lot inside. Added the seats. It's a lot more, I suppose, comfortable, the surroundings. The roof's been added, and so it looks very different from the inside. But as you can see there, some of the elements of the outside have hardly changed at all. That wall that is just on the other side of where we're standing here with the ivy on it hasn't changed at all.
Well, when I first saw it, I wasn't quite sure whether this was like a spotty difference. This was it from 67 and this was it from 2019. It wasn't until I read it properly that I realised they were both 52 years old. It's extraordinary. But yeah, the history's fantastic
Adam,
around these parts.
Thank you as ever for coming to see us.
He's
been keeping an eye on all the treats over here. Where can we find you?
Wimbledon channel, starting a little bit later, so we're looking forward. We'll be building ahead to what should be an epic day of tennis. Looking forward to both matches, actually. Interested to see how Bautista Agut gets on in his first Grand Slam semi-final. So
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time today. And that is it from all of us today. We're going to tuck into these delicious treats, but join us tomorrow as it's ladies' final day at SW19. Enjoy the rest of your day.